Hi friends, I'm Ibra. In this video we will talk about importance of our sleep. Watch this video until the end because this is the very important part of our life. And if you're still not subscribed to my channel, then do it right now. And click on the bell if you don't want to miss my news. So let's go! In fact, many people underestimate sleep. For example, a study was conducted gathering 3 groups of people. The first group slept normally. The second group slept 2 hours less than the norm of them. The third group slept 4 hours less than the norm. Then, these people were given a task that they had to perform. They were asked how they feel. Of course, the group that slept normally said, "I did the task and felt normal too." And the group that didn't sleep for 4 hours said that they felt very bad. The tasks they did was negatively too. But the most interesting result was at the group that slept for 2 hours less than normal. They said that they felt absolutely normal, but the results they showed as bad as those who slept for 4 hours less. So if you don't sleep enough, we may not feel it, but our performance, our efficiency, and our intellectual abilities are really reduced. And how you can improve your sleep and how to generally better sleep, I will tell you in this video. So watch it to the end. The video will be interesting and useful. So let's start! Firstly, what are the consequences of lack of sleep or low quality sleep? In general, it's certainly the deterioration of your thinking functions. Your ability to concentrate catastrophically decreases. Your ability to solve logical problems, coordination of speech, orientation, self-control is all reduced, even if we don't realize it. Also, low-quality sleep greatly affects the immunity and our ability to resist viruses and bacteria. Studies have shown that if you don't sleep, then your risk of getting infections increases by 3 times. Also, lack of sleep indirectly affects weight gain. Because if you don't sleep enough, you synthesize a substance ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and as a consequence, you start to eat more. Of course, it affects your emotional state because lack of sleep reduces your motivation and energy and vigor and appearance. It affects very much and how much sleep is normal. Of course, it's all individual, but there are certain universal rules. For example, a baby normal sleep is to 70 hours a day. If you are 3 years old, you can sleep for 10-13 hours a day. If you go to school, for you norm is 9 to 11 hours. For adults, is normal sleep for 7 to 9 hours. But the interesting thing is, in older age, the need for sleep decreases. More people after 65 years is normal to sleep 6 to 7 hours. In fact, it's not much hours of sleep, but its quality is important. But we will talk about this later. Sleep is a cycle process, and therefore, according to specialists, it's best to wake up when your sleep is equal to 1.5 hours. That is, when the sleep cycle is completed. 6 hours, 7.5 hours, or 9 hours. Sleepologists say that a normal sleep consists of at least 5 cycles. What time is it better to go to bed? As sleepologists say, if you go to bed till midnight, every hour equals 2. That is, if you went to bed, for example, at 10 p.m. and woke up at 6 a.m., according to this formula, it means that you slept not 8 hours, but 10 hours. Whereas if you went to bed at midnight and woke up at 6 a.m., according to this formula, you slept 6 hours. And what is the most correct sleeping position? It's on your back. In this position, you have the best relaxation of all your muscles and your whole body. The blood circulation also in this position is the most optimal. However, this position can be harmful to your lumbar spine. So it's recommended to sleep with bent knees or put under them a small pillow. Sleeping on your side is also acceptable, but then the height of the pillow should be about the width of your shoulder. But sleeping on the stomach is considered most harmful. Don't do this, it's bad for the internal organs and the spine, and the quality of sleep is reduced catastrophically. If you sleep all night on your stomach, then you're likely to wake up broken and not awake and rested. What are the basic recommendations for a normal sleep? Well, firstly, at least 1 hour before going to bed, it's necessary to exclude absolutely all gadgets, computers, phones and TV and everything, and it's necessary to do it for 2 reasons. Because firstly, when we look at electronic gadgets, we excite our psyche if we immediately after that go to sleep. The second reason is that when we look at electronic gadgets, we blink 3 times less. Our eyes are like open windows, and through the retina we burn melatonin. Melatonin is the substance that is responsible for deep, high-quality sleep. So, if you don't have much time to sleep, make it at least qualitative. You shouldn't eat too much before going to bed. The last meal before going to bed should be at least 3 hours, and eat not heavy food. It's also very useful to drink a glass of kefir an hour before sleep. It's very healthy effects on your microflora, on your immune functions, and the quality of sleep. It's definitely necessary to minimize the use of caffeine. Caffeine is not only found in coffee, but also in tea, especially green tea. It's also found in chocolate and cocoa beans. Some medicines also contain caffeine. Caffeine prevents the formation of melatonin, and it also excites our central nervous system. We really worsen our sleep if we consume caffeine at least 6 hours before sleep. I myself have noticed exactly this effect. I used to drink 2 cups of coffee, the first in the morning and the second after dinner, so closer to dinner, and my sleep was really low quality, generally worthless. But as soon as I gave up 2 cups of coffee, that is, drink only coffee in the morning, I immediately noticed that sleep was better. I began to wake up less twitchy. I began to really fall asleep and wake up refreshed. The room in which you sleep should be ideally dark, that is, no light as much as possible, to prevent the penetration of any rays of light. The darker, the better. As well as for me, should be perfect silence as possible. If you cannot get maximum silence of objective reasons, for example, you have a noisy road, noisy neighbors, and so on, use at least earplugs. They really help not to hear anything. The room should be well ventilated, that is, there should be enough oxygen. Ideally, we sleep better in a slightly cooler room when the temperature is slightly below the recommended 21 degrees. Alcohol greatly affects the quality of sleep, of course in the negative side. There is an idea that if you take a glass of wine at dinner, you fall asleep better. This is partly true. Most likely, if you drink, you will indeed fall asleep better, but the quality of sleep again will be worse. The golden rule of good sleep is to stick to sleep and rest mode. Go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time. Although I understand that such an ideal is probably not achievable for everyone, but if you have trouble with self-organization, then make yourself a rule, at least to get up at the same time, because it's much easier than to go to sleep. Also, take a walk before going to bed, but in no case do not do serious physical activity just before going to bed. Reading a paper book is also good before going to bed. Exactly paper, not gadget. And this book is also should be something simple to understand, not complicated. Because I remember I could read Stephen Hawking before going to bed, and that's all. I can't sleep. I start to think about black holes and other stranger stuff. Of course, you shouldn't drink a lot of water before going to bed, because you will wake up for natural needs. Alcohol and caffeine are also very strong diuretics. A separate word about bedding. The mattress shouldn't be soft, and it's better semi-hard or even hard mattress, because if you sleep on a soft, you may think that is comfortable, it's nice, but in fact you will sleep a lot of worse. Of course, there are some hardcore sleepers who sleep on the floor at all, that is, in a hardstyle mode. The most it can be a feather. Well, to such hardcore I think few of us will reach, but no matter, it's really cool. Particular attention should also be paid to the pillows. Doctors recommend sleeping on orthopedic pillow, but it's not suitable for everyone. It is worth paying attention to pillows that contain only down and feather, and there are certain tricks on their ratios, so if you are a woman, you will be recommended 50% of down and 50% of feather. If you are a man, you are recommended 30 to 70, that is 30% down and 70% feather. This is due to the width of shoulder. Such pillows is much better holding shape and creates a more correct anatomical position. And an important psychological point, use the bedroom only for sleep, or something nice, if you know what I mean. Because if you both live in the bedroom and work in the bedroom, it will psychologically affect your sleep. Your bedroom should be psychologically associated with sleep, so that when you go into the bedroom, you want to sleep. There are also recommendations on how to get up in the morning. The wrong thing is to get up suddenly and rush to get ready to brush teeth, dress and run. Recommended to say good morning to yourself after your awakening. Take a few breaths and then gradually sit on the bed about a minute and only then get up and go. It's very important because if you make jerks sharply getting out of bed, it's bad for your heart and cardiovascular system in general. And after all, go to the kitchen and drink a glass of warm water. If you follow all these recommendations, you will experience the joy of good sleep, after which you will wake up full of energy, brightly and ready for new achievements. So friends, write in the comments below how often you sleep, on which side. Share it with me, it will be very interesting. And if you like this video, then press like button and see you on my other videos.